Have you ever wondered why there are only 24 hours in a day? Why is it just enough time to get everything done? Or why do we only have 2 days off per week? In ancient times, people would often work 6 days a week with 1 day off. The Babylonians, for example, would work from sunrise to sunset every day except for Saturday, which was reserved for religious activities. Similarly, the Egyptians also had a 6-day work week, with Sunday being the day of rest. However, the concept of a weekend as we know it today really started to take shape during the Middle Ages. First of all, having just 2 days off allows people to enjoy their weekends without feeling like they're missing out on too much work. If we had 3 or 4 days off, it might feel like we're not working enough during the week. Additionally, having 2 days off means that businesses can still operate for most of the week, which helps to keep the economy moving. If we had more than 2 days off, it could disrupt the flow of commerce and lead to economic stagnation. Well, believe it or not, the answer may surprise you. So sit back, relax, and let's find out how did weekends become a thing. Until next time, keep thinking. I never knew that there were so many unanswered questions about time. What are some of the other unanswered questions about time that you find intriguing? Do you have any theories about why we have weekends or why there are only 24 hours in a day? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on these topics. Thanks again for sharing this information. I learned a lot, and I hope others will, too. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to share it with your friends. Until next time, keep thinking. Thank you for sharing this information. It is amazing to think about how something as simple as a weekend can have such a rich history and impact on our lives. I believe that the concept of a weekend has been around for centuries and has evolved over time. Based on factors such as the rise of industrialization and religious beliefs, it is also fascinating to learn about the different ways that people around the world keep track of time and the various systems that have been developed to measure it. I never realized that there were so many different ways to keep track of time. And I am glad that you shared this information with me. If we worked every day, we would eventually burn out, and our productivity would suffer. Having a break allows us to clear our heads and come back to work with renewed energy. This led to the emergence of guilds, which were organizations that set standards for quality and wages in a particular trade. It covers everything from the development of calendars to the keeping of time to the measurement of very small and very large periods of time. If you're interested in learning more about chronology and the fascinating answers to these age-old questions, I highly recommend checking out some courses on the subject. You'll learn about the history of timekeeping and how the tools we use to measure time have evolved over the centuries. You'll also explore how we keep time on a larger scale, such as the development of the Gregorian calendar and the Coordinated Universal Time System. Additionally, you'll delve into the intricacies of very small units of time and very large units of time. For example, you'll learn about the att, which is 1/billionth of a second, and the megayear, which is 1 million years. By understanding how we measure time on all of these scales, you'll gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and wonder of our universe. So if you've ever been curious about the nature of time and how we perceive it, I encourage you to check out some courses on chronology. It's a truly fascinating subject that can open your eyes to the wonders of our universe. We've been following this system for so long that it seems like the only way to do things. How did we come up with a 24-hour day? Why are there only 7 days in a week? And why do we use a decimal system? All of these questions have fascinating answers that can be found in the study of chronology. Trying to change it now would be met with a lot of resistance from both workers and businesses. Guilds also played a role in setting the hours of work and the days of the week. In many European countries, the work week started on Monday and ended on Saturday. This meant that people would work from sunrise to sunset for 6 days and then take Sunday off to rest and attend church. This practice continued for many years, and it was until the Industrial Revolution that things started to change. The concept of a weekend has been around for centuries. As cities grew and trade became more common, people began to specialize in different crafts and trades. With the advent of factories and mass production, the need for workers to be available at certain times became more important. Factories needed to operate around the clock to meet demand, and this meant that workers had to be available at all hours of the day. As a result, the concept of a standard 8-hour workday was born. But even with this new system, there was still some debate over which days should be considered weekends. In the United States, the first state to adopt the Saturday-Sunday weekend was Massachusetts in 1853. Other states followed suit after the Civil War, and by the end of the century, the Saturday-Sunday weekend was the norm across the country. However, in many parts of Europe, the Sunday-Monday weekend persisted well into the 20th century. It was until after both World Wars that the Saturday-Sunday weekend started to catch on in these regions. Even today, there are some countries that don't observe the Saturday-Sunday weekend. For example, in Iran, the weekend starts on Friday and ends on Saturday, and in some Muslim-majority countries, Sunday is also a holy day. But why is it just 2 days off? Why not 3 or 4 or even 5 days off? Well, there are a few reasons for this. Another reason for having just 2 days off is that it allows people to recharge and return to work feeling refreshed. Finally, having just 2 days off is simply a matter of tradition. So now you know why we have weekends and why there are only 2 days off. But there are still many other unanswered questions about time. Chronology is the study of time and how we measure it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel for more fun and educational content. Wow, that's incredible! If you want to learn more about the history of timekeeping, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below.